You attract what you believe and not what you think. Starting today, you will start creating your tomorrow. My name is Priyanka Rao. I am a professional mind coach and now a purpose friend. A very good afternoon to all the participants who have logged in this afternoon, to those who have come in on Zoom, and a big hello to those who have logged in on Facebook as well. Thank you very, very much for joining me this afternoon. Thank you for trusting me with this 6 week project. And I really look forward to meeting you every Saturday for the next 6 weeks on building a mindset that is immune to stress, to fear, to anxiety, or at least a mindset that is able to cope better with stress, anxiety, and fear, especially in these pandemic times. So, the COVID Shield project is a 6 week project. It is designed for those who are in quarantine, for those who are being influenced by fear, stress, and anxiety because of the current second wave, for those who are COVID survivors, and for those family and relatives that you know who would really benefit from this. This is not a theoretical masterclass. I will be sharing with you takeaways every Saturday on how you can start building it. So I will take you through a process in the next 6 weeks, and I really, really hope for some of you in the next, at the end of the 6 weeks, you would have started experiencing shifts in your mindset or releasing fears or anxiety and stress, right? So thank you very much again for joining. Let me start right away. My name is Priyanka Rao. I'm the apple of my parents' eye, roommate to 50-kilo Rottweiler dog, looking for my space under the sun, but found my life's purpose. I'm a nerdy bookworm turned luxury hotelier, turned internationally certified image consultant, turned e-commerce startup founder, now a professional mind coach in India. And this is just my very, very small way of giving back to my country and giving back to my people on how I can support them in these trying times. So if you've logged in on Facebook and if you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to put it on the comment box. And for those who've logged in on Zoom, the chat window is open. Feel free to engage with me in the chat window. I feel better if people talk to me and share things with me, because otherwise I'm just talking to a television, a computer screen, and it can get quite lonely. So please feel free to share anything you like in the chat. My only request is, if you have any questions, please put it into the Q&A box that you see down below. Please don't put a question in the chat window because it will get lost in the entire thread, right? Hello, Nishta. Nice to see you as well. All right. So for those who are meeting me for the first time, here are my credentials on the screen. I'm a certified practitioner in neuro-linguistic programming. I'm a certified practitioner in EFT and belief clearing. I'm an alumni of the London Image Institute. I'm an internationally certified image consultant. And from working on the outside, I'm now mainly working on the inside in terms of a mindset level. Only in this pandemic, I have worked with clients across 17 cities in India and 3 countries, logged in a little over 500 personal one on one coaching hours. So I have an absolute privy into the minds of the people. I call it the other pandemic, the one running in the minds of the people. And you'll get an idea of what I mean by that as you walk through this entire masterclass with me. It's very nice to also see you online, Nishta. Thank you so much for joining in. Right? So, as a coach, my job is to make you self sufficient. That's what coaches do. We teach you tools and techniques so that at some point in time, you're able to cope without requiring the coach intervention or anybody else. Um, I am myself a product of whatever I've studied in terms of the mind for the past 15 years, is what I'm studying the mind. I did it for my own personal growth because I wanted to live without dependency emotionally and mentally. And what I learned is what I'm sharing with you today. A lot of what I teach comes from a place of experience and not theory, because there is no school or college or degree that teaches you to be a mind coach. So I'm hoping for some of you that I'm able to transform your mindset in 42 days, the next 6 weeks. So mark your calendars. Every Saturday at 3 o'clock sharp, I will be live on Facebook. I will be on Zoom. It is the same link that you've logged in from, and I hope to see some of you every week. I've had the privilege of hosting masterclasses in this 1 year for Tech Mahindra, Capgemini, Lenskart, ONGC, Bank of America, the Indian Medical Association, the Indian Associate of Physiotherapists. This week itself, CII has invited me. Johnson Controls in Pune had invited me, and I have a masterclass tomorrow in London as well. So a lot of what I share with you is also what I will be sharing with them. Now, if you look at the screen, ladies and gentlemen, this gives you an idea what I meant by the other pandemic. These are the clients who have come to me in the past 1 year since April. The highest number has been low self-worth, and then has been stress in your career or feeling stuck in your career. The third highest has been anxiety and fear because of virus or fear of death, sickness, or losing your loved ones, and then has been stress in personal relationships. So even though we're living in a medical pandemic, if you notice, the current pandemic is triggering even other challenges like financial stress, low self-worth, inferiority, overthinking, feeling stuck or lost in life. Because whatever belief systems you have, when you face a crisis or a pandemic or uncertainty or a fear of the unknown, it basically triggers whatever is in your belief system. And that's why, it's not just the fear of falling sick or fear of death or fear of losing ones that is being triggered. Everything else is being triggered as well. So what do I mean by this other pandemic? Let me give you some statistics out there. 2019, even before the pandemic struck us, we were declared the most depressed country in the world by the World Health Organization. 1 in every 5 Indians was declared to be suffering from depression. Now, I would like to believe that we are a happy country. We've got a very strong social fabric and emotional support systems, and we've got a very strong spirituality base in our country too. But perhaps because of our numbers, we were declared the most depressed country in the world. In August, the number one Google search in India was therapy. In August as well, the International Labour Organization declared that 50% of the global youth currently are depressed. In September last year, Times Now came out with a survey that said 1 in every 2 Indians is suffering from anxiety. And the Economic Times has declared that mental health is going to affect the Indian private corporate sector to the tune of $1.03 trillion by 2025, because mental health has a direct impact on absenteeism, productivity, performance, employee morale, happiness, job satisfaction, and which has a direct impact on the company's profits and bottom line. What is this current pandemic triggering? It's triggering fears of change. Your comfort zone is trapping you so much that now when things are changing, maybe you've lost your job, or maybe tragically you've lost a family member, or maybe you're not able to go to work, or your kids are not able to go to school. Your entire routine has changed, and that is triggering fears because your comfort zone has been kind of disrupted. Fear of loneliness. I know some of you have kids who are addicted to video games and addicted to the television and social media. They're simply lonely. Fear of failing, self doubt that is being triggered in this pandemic times. Fear of being judged. Log kya kahenge? What will society think? There's this huge amount of stigma also attached to falling sick with COVID, and people avoid you, and societies are not happy with doctors or nurses living their societies. It is so inhuman, but that's how the society is behaving. Fear of loss. What if I lose somebody in my family? Something bad is going to happen. You're constantly on the edge, and anything is triggering anxiety in you. Feeling unworthy, the fear of the unknown, and the fear of uncertainty. This is what the current pandemic times is actually influencing. Is any of this familiar to you, ladies and gentlemen? Please type in familiar in the chat window. If what I'm telling you it sounds familiar, is something you can connect with, something you can relate to, and you're able to understand what I'm saying. The mind is a very complex subject, but in the next half an hour, I'm going to make this as uh, relevant and as practical and as simple for you to understand. Um, Thank you, Godelia. Thank you, Sandra and Leona. Thank you very, very much. So I would be very, very curious to know from, which parts of India have in all of you actually logged in from. Can you please type in the city that you've logged in from, so we all feel we're a sense of togetherness, a sense of vibe, and be really interesting for we know. Good, Mumbai, great, thank you very much. I can see Mumbai coming in, very nice. Panjim, Ponda, Vadodara, Goa, great, lots from Goa. I'm feeling nice about it. Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much. Now, where are these triggers emerging from? Every subconscious mind, ladies and gentlemen, is born fearless, is born complete, it's born whole, it's born enough. No child has a fear. Have you ever met a child who's got panic attacks, who's anxious, who's stressed, who overthinks, who thinks negative? No. Every subconscious mind is born fearless, whole, complete. Every child is born, you can be believing you can be, do, have whatever you want. Which is why your subconscious mind can release and reprogram whatever you have acquired in your growing up or in your adulthood and go back to its original state, because that's how it's born. And it takes a subconscious mind anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks to start releasing, and sometimes finish reprogramming too in some cases. In fact, the younger you are, the faster your subconscious mind reprograms. I have students of mine, or rather clients of mine who are students, and they reprogram in 2 or 3 weeks, because the younger you are, you can actually do so too. Having said that, I've even had clients in their 50s and 60s who have released and reprogrammed in a matter of 4 to 5 weeks. So don't worry about it, you can do it as well. So if we were never born with these fears, where did we acquire our fears from? Most of us acquire our fears between the age of 7 and 14. And they come from two sources, your parents and your family, because at that age, whatever they tell us, we pick up unquestioned, unfiltered. I had a client of mine in Pune who was suffering from, you know, anxiety, anger, possessiveness, obsessiveness in the marriage. He loved his wife, but he was extremely obsessive and possessive. Why? Because as a child, his mother loved his brother more than him. So he grew up feeling unloved, rejected, abandoned. And when he met the love of his life, he always had a fear that she would lose him. She would leave him and he would lose her, which is why it got triggered. I had another client of mine who was so anxious in this pandemic that he would lose a job. Why? Because as a child, he was always told by his parents, "You are our only son. You have to look after us in our old age. We are, dependent on you. We are your responsibility. It's very hard to get jobs. You have to work hard. You have to hold on to your jobs. Jobs don't come easy." And he always had a fear of losing his job because of those reasons. I had a client of mine who had fear of death, and this got triggered obviously in this pandemic times. Where did she acquire it from? When she was about 6 or 7, she lost her godmother, and unfortunately the godmother was murdered. So that fear of death has set in from then, and now when she's in her 30s, she still has that fear of death, which ironically, even though she was really, really young at 6, 7, but she was so close to her godmother, it erupted in her. But she too was able to release that fear in a matter of 5 to 6 weeks. So this is to give you an idea of how powerful your subconscious mind is. So stay with me till here, and I will be sharing with you takeaways to help you start combating this fear and anxiety today. So this is a client of mine. For all of those who are in Goa, you might recognize her. She had anxiety, due to fear of corona. She used to wash her hands 30 times a day. In 4 weeks, she dropped her anxiety. Can you imagine that? This was a dentist from Pune who was stuck and frustrated. She felt a shift in first week. She fell in love with herself at the end of my program, and her husband took the coaching too. This was a cricketer who was, suffering from anxiety, performance anxiety in his game in the lockdown. And within a fortnight, he could choose how he felt or thought. This was a client of mine, a banker who was anxious and overthinking. In 5 weeks, he experienced nothing less than magical. In fact, he was on medication for anxiety, which he eventually got weaned off as well. So you have never born with this. You don't have to live with anxiety, fear. And I really hope for some of you really start doing that. So today, in this first week, I'm going to show you that you create your life every day, including your fears, right? So how does this work? I'm going to show you that you attract what you fear, not what you think. You have a very powerful sponsoring thought that is making you attract it. I will explain to you what is this sponsoring thought I'm talking about, and I'll give you 6 steps at the end to help you start creating positive, empowering beliefs that can help you combat the stress and anxiety. You learn what Roman Emperor Marcus said, that a man's life is what his thoughts make of it. You'll understand what the father of American psychology said, William James. The greatest discovery of our generation is that a human being can alter his life by altering his attitudes. And you'll also learn what Ralph Emerson, the very famous philosopher, said: you become what you think about all day. But I'm going to show you it's not just what you think, it's also what you fear that you become all day. Right? So if you're with me and you're excited and this is adding value to you, please type in excited so that I know that you're in this as much as I am. And in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to be sharing with you now techniques on how to actually overcome the stress, the anxiety. At least we're going to start. It is a process. It's going to take a few weeks, but we will have that start today. Thank you very, very much. All right, so here's the first truth of the day I'm going to share with you. Your external environment is a reflection of your inner environment. Your external environment is a reflection of your inner environment. What do I mean by that? For those of you who have anxiety or who know people who are anxiety or are anxious, who are stressed, what happens to their body? Some of them get palpitations. Their heart starts beating really fast. They start sweating. Their hands maybe start shaking. Some get chills. Some get really warm. The fear is internal. The stress and anxiety is internal. But your physical body on the outside is reacting to that fear. Sometimes when we get scared, what happens to us? We freeze. Our mind goes blank. We stammer and stutter. We're not able to to express clear statements. All this is happening on the outside, but the fear is internal. So your external environment is a reflection of your inner environment, and it happens the other way around too. Your internal can also start shifting with the external, and that's also happening now. The whole WhatsApp University, the social media news, all that you see on television, all the forwards, most of it fake, that are being shared on WhatsApp. It's triggering fears and anxiety. So the first thing I will definitely tell you, if you are suffering from anxiety, fear, and stress, protect your energies. Protect your energies and do a WhatsApp detox, do a social media detox, do a news detox. Remember, at some point in time, you have to put yourself first. We're not running away from the world, we're not living this ignorant world. But if I need to protect my energies in order to live in this world, I have to do what I need to do to protect myself. So please do have a detox if you are facing such challenges. Now, let me explain to you how this whole fear works in us. Our entire universe is a gigantic field of energy. Everything in this world is energy: food, money, the oxygen that people are craving for now, water, animals, birds, everything is energy. Your fears are energy. Your stress is energy. Your anxiety is energy. You're feeling low. You're feeling depressed. All of that is energy. Now, think of it like FM channels. If I'm on the frequency of stress, I'm only going to attract stress. If I'm on the frequency of 91.9, I'm only going to attract radio indigo. If I change my frequency to 92.7, I will attract big FM. If I go to 98.3, I will attract radio mirchi. But essentially, whichever frequency I'm at, I'm only attracting that. So if you're on the frequency of stress, anxiety, fears, you are only going to attract more triggers of it, more situations that cause it, more people that cause it. even in this current, extremely hard times, you will find people who are very happy. You will find people who are very positive. You will find people who are doing well, because they are on that frequency. It's not that they're not listening to news, or it's not that they are not affected by the COVID, but their frequency is very different. So the stress, the tension, the worry, the anxiety touches them less. So if everything is energy, you need to change your frequencies. And you will start doing that this week with some of the takeaways I share with you. So, if everything is energy, energy operates on laws, absolute, complete, universal laws, the law of resonance, the law of gravity, the law of physics, the law of cause and effect. But the biggest law in the world is the law of attraction. Like attracts like. That's what it means. One energy will attract the same energy. So, look at your own days. Have you ever got up and had a terrible start to the day? There's no water in the loo, electricity is not there. Maybe you had a fight with somebody at home, your domestic help has not come in, you're late to work, and the rest of the day goes like a dominoes effect negative, because that one energy at the start attracted the rest. And it happens the other way around too. You could start your day in a wonderful note, a great yoga, a great breakfast, or you listen to some really nice music, and the rest of the day goes very well. So every energy is attracting similar energy. Now, everything in this world is frequency, vibration, and energy, right? These are the secrets of the universe. Let me show you how this applies in our day-to-day lives when it comes to fear, anxiety, and so on and so forth. So what is this sponsoring thought I'm talking about? I'm just going to stop share, and I'm going to go into the whiteboard and explain to you how these belief systems work with us in our day-to-day lives. So let's say here is an individual thinking certain thoughts in this current pandemic times. So let's say the individual is thinking that I need to grow my business. Good to see you, Manali. Thank you for raising your hand. Now, thoughts are energy, and it operates on like attracts like. So these thoughts attract more similar thoughts. So if you want to grow your business, you will start thinking how you want to grow your business. What can you do from home in this pandemic times? How should you promote it? How should you market it? Eventually, all this energy starts attaching itself to each other, and the energy will convert into matter and come to you in the form of a business. This is basic law of attraction, which states that if I ask for something, I believe it, I will receive it. But this can apply to anything: a business, love, marriage, a job, a house. It could apply to a promotion. It could apply to Save Puri, anything. But if this was the case, we would have everything we want in life. But we don't. What's the missing link? What's the missing gap? That's your sponsoring thought. These thoughts that you see here are only 10% of your thoughts. How many of you overthink? Please type in me in the chat window or on Facebook. How many of you overthink? Thank you, Manali. Thank you, Leona. So all of you who thank you for being so honest and sharing this with us. Those of you overthink, you are a slave to only 10% of your mind. Did you know that? Your conscious thoughts, your conscious mind is only 10% of your mind. Your conscious thoughts, your logical, rational thinking mind is right now listening to me is only 10% of your mind. So essentially, you are a slave to just 10%. You can move it. Beyond these conscious thought is something known as your sponsoring thought. Your sponsoring thought is the thought behind the thought. It is also your subconscious mind. And it is also your belief systems that you acquired in childhood, your value systems, your past memories, your past experiences, and your subconscious are whooping 90% of your mind. So essentially, your sponsoring thought is influencing what you're attracting in your life. So you don't attract what you think, You attract what you believe. You don't attract what you think, you attract what you believe. So if there is fear here, you're going to attract fear. If there is anxiety here, you're going to attract anxiety. If there is low self worth here, you're going to attract low self worth. So you could have any thoughts. I want to grow my business. I want to find a job. I want to be happy. I want to lose weight. I want to make more money. But if your sponsoring thought is filled with limitations and destructive beliefs, that's what you are attracting. That's why you attract what you fear if that's in your sponsoring thought. So, in these COVID times, what are the different kinds of sponsoring thoughts there exists right now? The top four are here on your screen. The number one is anxiety and stress. I'm burnt out with the stress. There are no customers. My business is not doing well. I can't meet my targets. My boss is giving me such high targets, but there is no sales. When will the economy bounce back? When will people start buying again? I have EMIs and loans. I'm working from home, but there is no work life balance. I'm always working. I get panic attacks. I get anxious. I get palpitations. Number one mindset. And this is all in your sponsoring thought. So, whatever you're thinking is being overpowered by this mindset. Secondly, is being stuck and lost. In a lot of my master classes, this polls really, really high. I'm, in this lockdown, I felt like I've lost my dreams. I've lost my goals. I feel there's no purpose. I'm stuck. I feel life is not going to come back to normal. I'm unfulfilled. I'm bored. I feel monotonous. I need a change, but I don't know what to do. I don't know how to change. Stuck and lost. Third one, the number one, overthinking. What if scenarios? You create what if scenarios in your mind. You have a fear of tomorrow. You have the fear of unknown. Is the third wave going to come? Is it going to hit children? What is going to happen? Will life ever come back to normal? Overthinking. And of course, the big one, fear. Fear of death, fear of falling sick. Even a cough gives me panic attacks. Fear of losing your loved ones, fear of dying alone in a hospital, fear of stepping out of your house. There are not enough beds, there's not enough oxygen. I am so scared. The number one mindset. Remember, if there is fear in your sponsoring thought, that's what you're attracting. You will attract more of it. So here's the second truth I'm going to share with you. Your mind does not know the difference between real and imaginary. Your mind does not know the difference between real and imaginary. So we can make the mind believe what we want it to believe, and it will start believing so. So, this is what we're going to do. This is a tool that I've designed called the cup of life. Now, say this is a glass full of water, and uh, I ask you to pour more water in this cup. Now, the glass is completely full. Will you be able to pour more water? I reckon not. The water will spill over, it'll come out. But I say, no, you have to fill water only in this cup. What's the most logical thing you will do? You'll release some of the water, and then you'll make space, and then you will pour. Now consider this you. This is your vessel. This is your cup of life. This is your system. You're trying to pour in, happy thoughts, motivational speakers, YouTube videos, self-help books, you know, maybe spirituality, maybe religion, whatever, affirmations. You're trying to pour in, but it is not removing the anxiety, the stress, because there is no space. Your cup is already full, it's spilling over. So you have to release too from your body the anxiety, the fear, the stress as you start pouring. Why? Because energy cannot be destroyed. You cannot shoot it, kill it, burn it. So that stress, that anxiety, that overthinking is sitting in you. You have to release it. I can't destroy energy, but I can transform it. I can transfer it. And you will start doing that too in the next 6 weeks. I will teach you how. So today, I'm only going to show you how to pour. I'm going to show you what you can start pouring in into your cup vessel, right? So here are 6 takeaways I'm giving you. I hope you have a pen and paper at hand, and I'm going to start right away. So if you're ready, please type in ready, that you have your notes and your pen and paper with you, and that I can start with the 6 steps. I'm going to walk you through the 6 steps, and then I'm going to wind up. Great, thank you very much. So here's the first step I want you to do. All right. And trust me in this process, please. I want you to take a card like this, right? Create a card like this. And I want you to write on one side a goal. It could be anything. I want to earn 2 lakhs a month. I want to get married next year. I want to start my own business of baking. I want to buy my own car. Whatever is your goal. Okay. Now I know you're thinking, but Priyanka, I'm stressed, I'm anxious, I'm scared. Hold on. We are trying to shift your awareness to other things. We are trying to pour in, because wherever awareness flows, energy grows. Right now, your awareness is only in the COVID and the pandemic and the stress and the anxiety and the fears. We're trying to divert the awareness, because what you think about all day is what you become. We will start releasing two next week, so don't worry about it. So I want you to write a goal on one side, right? You could have, if you have multiple goals, then have, 2 3 cards, so to say. That's the first thing you need to do. All right. In addition to this, I also want you to write on a card, I am fearless. This is a very powerful mental command. Mind you, this is not an affirmation. Mental commands are designed to reprogram and release. Mental commands are also the belief systems that you were born with. So your mind can't object to it. The mind will say, I remembered, I was born like this. This was me. This is my original self. I want you to write, I am fearless. So you'll have a card with your goal, and then you're going to have a card which states, I am fearless on it. Okay? That's what I would like you to do. If this command really appeals to you, you can also make a card with this. I have phenomenal coping skills. This is one of the most powerful commands, especially for health. Marissa Peer is one of the topmost therapists in the world, and she actually did this experiment in UK. In a ward, she put up this huge board with this command, I have phenomenal coping skills. And another ward, she put up she had no command there. And then they were tracking which ward had a faster recovery. And to their utter amazement, they saw the patients who were reading this statement every day recovered faster, quicker, stronger, were healthier, and they got discharged faster. Because when the mind keeps reading, I have phenomenal coping skills, I have phenomenal coping skills. Remember, your conscious mind is giving instructions to your subconscious mind. So every time you read, I have phenomenal coping skills, it is going to your subconscious. And over time, your subconscious mind starts learning it and believing it. And the patient started believing that they have phenomenal coping skills, and they actually started coping that well. So you can even write a card which says, I have phenomenal coping skills if anxiety, stress, feeling low, panic attack is something that's very familiar with you, right? So you have a goal, you have I am fearless, and you have I have phenomenal coping skills. That's the first step that you are going to do. All right, here's the second step. I want you to turn the card, and I want you to write these statements on the card. Okay, like I have one of mine here. I have written these statements here. This is mine, by the way, and I have my goal on the other side too. Act as though it were impossible to fail. Seek and you shall find. Ask and it shall be given. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. I want you to write these statements on this card. Remember, every time you are reading these statements, you are giving instructions to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is learning through repetition and believing it. If your subconscious mind learns through repetition, this is what I want you to do. Every day, as soon as you wake up, the first 10 minutes of your wake up, your sponsoring thought, your subconscious mind is active the first 10 minutes of your wake up. As soon as you wake up, I want you to read your goals, read I'm fearless, read I have phenomenal coping skills, and then turn the card and read all these statements. So put this by your bedside. Again, your subconscious mind becomes active when you're sleeping, because when you're sleeping, your conscious mind goes to bed and your subconscious mind becomes awake. So if you read this before you go to bed, your subconscious mind is processing it and programming it when you're sleeping. Let it work when you're sleeping. So again, before you go to bed, I want you to read this. If any of you meditate or do pranayam or do yoga, even after meditation, pranayam and yoga or prayers, you can read it, because your subconscious mind becomes active also in these times. So that's the step number two. You've got your goal on one side, and you've got your these statements on the other side. Okay, we are reprogramming subconscious mind here. Third thing I want you to do is, every day I want you to do one thing towards the goal you've written. So, say your goal is to start a baking business. One thing every day towards it. Maybe you would design a recipe. Maybe you will follow some bakers on Instagram and see what they're doing. Maybe you will learn a marketing tool. If, say, I want to be an international coach, I once every day I'm going to do one study module that is going to take me towards becoming an international coach. I'm going to study once every day. Do one thing every day towards this goal. We are shifting your awareness from the fear, anxiety, towards what you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to have. That's the step number three. Is this clear till here? If you please type in yes, if I'm clear till here, and you're able to understand why I'm telling you to do these things. There is a scientific reasoning behind this, which is your mind. It's that powerful. Thank you very much. Right? So do one thing every time towards this goal. The fourth thing I want you to do is put post-it notes around your home on I am fearless. So, the mirror that you see every day, the cupboard that you open every day, your laptop that you watch every day, maybe your study table, maybe your kitchen or your fridge or the dashboard of your car. Remember, your subconscious mind learns through repetition. So, every time you're even working, your mind is reading, I'm fearless, I'm fearless, I'm fearless. Or I have phenomenal coping skills, I have phenomenal coping skills, I have phenomenal coping skills. You're surrounding your subconscious mind with these commands. It will start believing it very, very soon. So by the end of this program, most of you, if you have followed me for 6 weeks, you will be fearless and you will have phenomenal coping skills. That's how powerful your subconscious mind is. So that's the step four. Put post-it notes around your home. And this is only for the next 3 or 4 weeks, right? You can take the post-it notes out once you feel fearless, right? So this is just very, very temporary. You can even create these wallpapers for your phone. So if you have a wallpaper, you can create a wallpaper. A beautiful app is called the Canva app. Canva. Canva. It's on the screen. It's free of cost. You can maybe ask, your son or daughter or anybody who's more, if you're not very technological savvy, just ask them to go to Canva and you can write, I am fearless, and make it your wallpaper on your phone. So every time you pick up your phone, your mind is reading, I'm fearless. Or if you want to put your goal on your phone wallpaper, you can even do that. Every time you pick your phone, your mind is reading the goal. So this is how we are trying to teach our subconscious mind to start believing that, right? So that's step number 5. And step number 6 is pay it forward. Remember, energy circulates. Whatever you give, you receive. Whatever you give, you receive. Look at your body. You inhale, you exhale. You inhale, you exhale. Look at your heart. Pumps in, pumps out. Look at the waves. Comes in, goes out. Look at the planets. They're constantly circulating. Energy always circulates. So circulate this energy you're trying to create. Pay it forward. Today, I want you to call one person who might be a family member, a relative, a friend, somebody who means something to you, and tell them to do these 6 steps. Pass on the knowledge, pay it forward. That person might thank you for the rest of your life. And we create a chain of gratitude. So the last step I want you to do is call one person in your life and pay it forward. Trust me, the energy circulates back to you in multifold. So these are the 6 steps I want you to do today. And you're going to start changing your mindset and your reality changes. Remember, the external environment is a reflection of the internal environment, right? So when you start moving from a victim, I'm making you a manifestor mindset, a mindset that creates, co-creates, manifests, imagines, selects. You're not a victim. You are a co-creator of your universe. The magic and the might lies in you. It does not come externally. It's all your mind, right? Remember, you are not born with these challenges. You don't have to live with them. right? And I'm just going to very quickly move on from this. I want to actually show you this. This was a gentleman who's 56 years old. Remember, I told you that even clients at 50s and 60s reprogram. He had a fear of speaking in public speaking. 2 weeks, he delivered a presentation. 4 minutes without stammering, stuttering, or losing a word. That's how powerful it is. This was a student who would come to me because of, fear of, he had a lack of interest in his work and studies. And he today is actually handling a sales and marketing vertical in his father's business. And guess how old he is? He's only 18 years old. So that's how powerful your mindset is. Stay with me for 42 days, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, what can you expect? Okay, one moment. I'm just going to move to slide number 5, Dr. Samira. Slide number 5 is this. Create a wallpaper for your phone, right? So you can write, I'm fearless. You can write, I have phenomenal coping skills, or you can even write your goal on it. You can use apps like Canva, which is free of cost, to make an artwork, and it already has mobile artworks on it. It has a ready template for mobile wallpapers. It comes up like this, so it perfectly fits into your phone, right? So I hope, Dr. Samira, you got step number 5. All right, so I'm just going to move to what you can expect next week. Again, Saturday, 3 o'clock on Zoom or Facebook. I'm going to show you what you're going to release. Okay, so I've showed you how to pour. I'm now going to show you how to release next week. All right, so saying that, thank you very, very much for joining me this afternoon. If you're not followed me on social media, Mind Coach Priyanka Rao is what you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I have a lot of mindset hacks and tips that come every day almost. So you can stay on this journey with me. Thank you very much. And I will see you next Saturday at 3 o'clock. And I really hope this was of value to you. And I really appreciate you trusting me in these trying times. Thank you, Manali. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Leona. Stay safe. If you're not vaccinated, please vaccinate. It's the only way to beat this pandemic. Thank you, Sundaramji. Thank you, P839530. I don't have your name, but I thank you nevertheless. Thank you, Harshit. Good to see you here. And congratulations on recovering, Harshit. Thank you, Sunay. Good to see you. Thank you, Dr. Samira and Lester. Thank you, Anju. Thank you, Godelia. Have a good week, and I will see you next Saturday. Thank you, Manali. You're my biggest cheerleader. If there are any questions on Facebook, I'm just looking at it right now. Thank you, Manali. You're my biggest cheerleader. If there are any questions on